Hey, what's up, YouTube world? It's your girl Jennifer here. Man, it has been a whirlwind of a couple of days, both good and also very interesting because yesterday, a client of mine sent me a message and said, "Hey, is this your Instagram page?" And I was like, I went and looked and I hold my phone. I'm like, wait, that's definitely not me. I mean, the pictures are me, but there's someone out there that decided to pose as me. And so let's just set the record straight. Always be sure you're talking to me. Especially when you're using my pictures going by Amanda Jones, and their Cash App is $Joey AM202. So I'm putting it out there. Don't ever, ever, ever communicate with this woman because, or man, I don't know. Um, yeah, she's a scam artist and she's a con artist, stealing people's money. So let me tell you what happened. After my client sends that, and I go straight to Instagram. I'm like, okay, let me see what this person is doing, right? And lo and behold, I put some pictures up on my Facebook page, and I'm gonna try and show y'all here what was going on. But I'm looking and I'm like, whoa, they really like went all in and completely. This is from my Facebook post. As you can see, the Instagram snapshots I got there, screenshots I took from the Instagram page, which is no longer there, of course. I decided to peek through and I looked at some of the other pictures that they put up, and they got pictures from my Facebook profile. So somebody decided to go onto my barely active Instagram, because I really am barely active on there, and take some of my pictures from my Facebook page and put them on Instagram. Let me tell you why I know. It's because these pictures right here, these especially these two, this one and that one, those are on my Facebook. I don't have them up on Instagram, and I have not put them up on there. So I know it's someone from there. Let me just say, number one, I'm very flattered that you liked my pictures. I really am. And because especially these two pictures right here, these two and that one, those those are, like, I went and got this phone just to take those pictures. So, and my husband took them. So I'm damn proud of those pictures. So I'm really not mad. I'm not mad. I'm flattered, completely flattered. And I hope you have a chance to watch this video to hear that. So I go and I'm responding on, oh, and I forgot they also put some of my products on there, my Oshun set, right? So they took my Oshun picture from my Etsy page and posted it on there. And I said, oh, shoot, they promoting from me. Okay, let me just make sure people know how to really get it and not from them. So I go on there and someone's like, what does this do? And I reply back, oh, you want to know what it does? Then here, let me take you to my Etsy shop so you can see it and so you can actually buy it from there if that's what you're interested in getting. And just so you know, this person's account, they're not the one selling it. I am. So yeah, I responded from a House of Oya Botanica site, Instagram page. And yeah, so anyway, I decide, you know what? Let me do a little bit more digging. I'm going through, yeah, I did leave some slightly petty remarks on some of those pictures that they posted, but that's neither here nor there. But what I did do is I decided to dig through their followers, right? I started digging through all of their followers and also who they were communicating to on these pictures. And I sent not really a mass request, but definitely to quite a few people saying, hey, this account is a fake. This is who I really am. If you are interested in African spirituality or any of like the candle products, which I don't make waist beads, let's just get that out there, then let me know. This person has stolen my pictures pretty much. And so I did get a response from, I got a response from a couple of people. When one girl said, oh no, yeah, I've already been scammed. That's what makes me mad, right? That's what makes me upset, because you're using my likeness to go and scam people. And that's completely what I'm not about. I'm not about that at all. I like to be as honest and as straight up with all of my clients and all of my customers. And if it's something I don't know, I tell you, hey, I don't know. I'm not perfect. I will find out the answer for you. I would rather much tell you the truth than tell you a lie. And they went against everything that I stand for as an entrepreneur. And so when the girl is telling me the story, hey, I paid her, I sent her some money through Cash App, and I never got the product. So I said, okay, well, give me the Cash App. So I definitely did. And you know what? Just to even top it off, I went and sent like a ridiculous request for $1,000 to that Cash App. And I put in the notes, thanks, this is for the flattery of stealing my pictures. both of them, both of my requests were declined. I know. Anyway, it was fun to do it. But yeah, other than that, another reason why I am flattered is because not only did you think my pictures were dope, but you also know that what I'm doing is true, because why else would you want to take and use my information to do something with, right? And it's because I'm doing it right. People trust me. People know who I am. People know that what I do works. And so if people trust me and they're using my picture, then of course maybe they can get in on the profit. Well, all I got to say is, and I'm going to leave it at this, I asked Oya to protect my family, myself, and my business. And what Oya does. My hands are washed. So that is all. That's all I wanted to say. But now let's talk a little bit about some other things, right? So pretty much what they were doing was scamming people out of African practices, right? So the traditional waist beads, the candles, having Oshun on there, and things like that. And there's so much of that does go on, where there are botanicas that have set up, that set up shop just to do this, or not even really botanicas. I am a legit botanica, and there's a lot of people out there that are not. And they also can feed into scamming people out of their money, saying that, hey, they can teach them about African spirituality, they can do this and do that. And so there's this whole trend of monetizing sacred practices that belong to us. And that is sad. I'm not angry and I'm not upset, but I am sad for what will happen to these people for doing these type things, because our world, the world that we live in, is so vast and so big that anything can happen, to your false business. It can happen to your life, because what you're doing is that you're invoking that negative energy into your life, and you're invoking that negative, you're opening up doors that you don't even know how to close, and you don't know what comes out of those doors when you open them, right? And a lot of people do that. Some people do it intentionally, some people do it unintentionally. But like this person here intentionally went and opened those doors. And all I got to say is what comes out, and it sticks. So if you've ever questioned who you're talking to, especially with the whole learning process, really take a look at who they are. Take a look at, what they've done. Take a look at if they have a presence. Take a look at the people they might have, communicated with in the past. Make sure that you know exactly who you're talking to. This woman here went by a completely different name, but used my picture, right? I'll tell you this. I meet a lot of people on Etsy, where I sell, of course, my products. And sometimes these conversations and speaking to people lead to consultations, right? And during every consultation, I always let people know, hey, I would like to speak to you by video. And the reason why I say that is because it not only protects you, but it also protects me. It's that sacred exchange of energy. You know who you're talking to. You can see them in the eyes and know that what they're telling you is true, right? And so I always invite some people I don't speak to video only because that's their preference, and that's okay. But I always extend that invitation to them so that they can be aware. So if you ever see or speak to anybody who's using pictures disguised as themselves, then be sure that you can communicate with them by video, right? I always do that. I always, because you never know who you're talking to on the other end in this whole big old world, of technology nowadays. You don't know who you're talking to. And so I like to make sure that all of my clients and customers know who they're talking to on the other end. Like, it's me. And I've even had some customers that want ceremonies done come to my house, right? And so it's not just me, it's them. They know where I live, right? My godfather and a few other people that are needed for that ceremony. But it's something that we do that is true. It has been done over thousands of years. And so I like for people to have that level of comfort and that level of understanding of who we are and what we do and how we can help. And that's the only reason why I do this stuff. It's because my ultimate goal is to help people. And combine that with my obsession with spirituality. What better way, right? To combine your own obsession and passion with helping to progress the world forward. So just be really careful, because people are doing this nowadays, taking African spirituality and turning it into something that it's not. Now, granted, yes, there are certain things that are going to cost, right? We can't not say that, because that would just be completely false. There are a lot of things that are going to cost. And so those things become offerings. That exchange in money is called an offering, because as a spiritual worker, and especially one that does this full time like I do, I also have a family, and I am the one in my home that has this business where my husband is helping me in my business, and my daughter is going to school and doing what she needs to do as a 7-year-old. But I gotta eat. I can't continue to do what I'm doing if we're not okay. If my family is not okay, if I'm not okay, really, most importantly, because I won't have the energy. I'll have a hungry stomach. And I won't have the ability to get the products and the herbs and things that I need in order to aid and to continue aiding people. So yeah, it does cost. Now, I have heard, while we're on this whole topic of scammers, I have heard so many stories from people and clients over the years. There's this gnat that's flying around, it's getting on my nerves. Stories from clients over the years that have been scammed out of so much money, and it is so sad. Like, the most I've heard at one time was like 65,000, right? And I've heard, thousands upon thousands. The only way that what we do would cost like thousands of dollars, which I have never performed a ceremony that costs that much, is if you have to have like repeated back to back, probably 3 ceremonies in a row that are like days long. Like, that's the only way that I can think of that it would cost that much. But even if you go further, like to like, I think another thing too, sorry, real quick, because I started getting off on a tangent. And then sometimes these ceremonies require some rather large things to be used during the process. And so the larger these things or items that are needed, of course, that's going to cost. And we can't buy it because we'll never have any money if we continue to buy these things that people need as a result of these ceremonies. So Yes, it does have to come from out of the pocket of the client because that's the client's prerogative. That's what they're requesting. And so when we explain all of this stuff up front, like there's nothing hidden. We're very honest. I try to tell them everything, what is involved, how much money it's going to be. And then that way you can make that decision for yourself if you want to proceed forward. I will never sit there and say, you need to do this. You need to. Now, if it's a life or death situation, I'll tell you the information. You can sit and mull over it and think about it. I will never pressure anybody to do something that they don't want to do. Why? Number one, that's just not right. Number two, I don't have the energy to do that. I really don't. It's not in me. I got like a million other things. Why am I going to sit here and try to pressure somebody into doing something that they don't want to do? So be on the lookout for people like that too. Because again, I've heard stories of people saying, oh, you know what? You have a curse and I need to remove this for $2,000. I have removed curses for much less than that. Okay. Just let you know. Just let you know. And I don't even just sit there and say, like, I go deep into it and making sure that whatever might be happening on the other end is that legitimately that is what is happening. And sometimes it takes a little investigating, a little bit of digging to do that. Like, I mean, a couple of hours at least conversation to be able to confirm. And that's it, just the point of this whole video really is to be aware of who you're working with. Be aware that there are a lot of scammers out here that will try to make money off of African spirituality or African traditional religions. There are a lot of people out here that may not be a part of an African traditional religion, but are in this whole spiritual world that will take advantage of folks. And be sure that who you're talking to is really who they are. And if you need to do more investigating before spending money on them, hell, I'll tell everybody, look at me, I am me. And if you want to investigate me, by all means do so, because the person that has something to hide would never recommend that you do that. All right, I'm going to go. I was going to say get off my high horse, but I really wasn't on a high horse. I'm going to go now, but I did want to just give you that word of caution. And if you don't think it's me, it probably isn't me. So I love each and every one of you all. I will be back with another video going more in depth on African traditional religions and really what's the difference between them all, right? Because there's a whole lot out there. So we'll come back next week with another video on that. And y'all have a good night, good day, good evening, good morning, whenever. See you later.